What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the MrMaple Show. Today, we're bringing 10 of the 20 craziest trees dropping today on Tuesday of December 30th, guys.
December 30th. How did we get here to December 30th already? Hey, guys, hope you all had a Merry Christmas, and I hope you guys are going to have even better New Year. Man, some really great stuff coming on this drop. Really excited. Back with my homie here, getting in on a 10 at 10. But getting us started today, we've got Acer palmatum, Holy Sister Lucia.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that is a Bob McCaffrey introduction. One of his amazing blessings, also known as witch's brooms. He calls them blessings because it's a genetic mutation that occurs on a single branch. And hey, that's got to be pretty special. Almost a little bit of a miracle. And Holy Sister Lucia today is going to be a great compact dwarf that gives you some amazing colors in the fall time.
Yeah, and it's going to give you, like you say, that dwarf. So it being a witch's broom, it's going to give you kind of that, what you expect, kind of that globular, tight, small. You're looking at about 3 to 4 foot in 10 years, if that. And then you said those fall colors, you're going to go to those incredible, those kind of oranges and yellows all at the same time. And you said small, compact spaces for those spaces in your garden where you need to get something smaller in there. Great tree for that.
Yeah, I mean, this one really caught my eye this year. I think we have a stock plant planted across from the nursery. And this year, whenever we were shooting all this fall content, it just was a beacon on the kind of this corner of the street right there. I kind of just dropped my jaw whenever I was looking at it. Just a nice, tight, dense habit with tons of leaves just all tightly packed together. And then a myriad of beautiful oranges and yellows kind of just speckled across it. And I was lucky enough to see this kind of in the morning. So as that sun was kind of coming through the dappled shade of that garden, it was just kind of lighting it up, kind of heightening those oranges and yellows. And yeah, this is a killer plant. I think this is probably the first time it's being listed on the website, if not one of the first times being listed, especially on the 10 at 10. This is going to be one for all your collectors out there trying to get that, that Bob McCaffrey series. I guess we call it the Catholic series here at MrMaple. But yeah, don't miss out on Holy Sister Lucia.
Okay, guys, now we're coming to you with Acer japonicum Giant Moon. Man, the japonicums, I mean, you talk about those big leaves that are going to come into your garden with this. And people might ask, like, well, with the japonicums, what is going to be different about Giant Moon and some of the other ones? Man, to me, it's the leaf shape and the leaf structure on this. It's just a little bit different, just enough to really push, because those leaves seem to be more broad and flat with Giant Moon. But again, it being a japonicum, we talk about fall, man, you're going to get some of those reds and yellows all on the same leaves going on at the same time. Man, I can't say enough about Giant Moon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of starting to get dabbling into some japonicums. I think a lot of us, the first japonicum we get or catches our eye is that Akinatafolium or that Maikujaku. Then we slowly start to enjoy more rounded out leaves that you get from maybe something like Giant Moon, Rising Sun. But yeah, the japonicums have such a nice structure in the garden. They have just such a rigid approach out there. They give you some really nice contrast if you have a lot of other maples, giving you a really nice texture with that rounded leaf. And yeah, if you want to increase the size of the leaves on your japonicum, you can start putting them in a little bit more shade. That's going to help them pick up that larger size. I know there's some pictures of Tim with his hands right next to a japonicum leaf, and it kind of, dwarfs the hand in comparison. And yeah, Giant Moon going to give you some amazing fall colors. One that you're going to want to enjoy, especially bringing in that new year.
And, like you talking about those leaves, like I say, I think that's what really makes Giant Moon different from the other japonicums. But this is also one that I find that, like we talk about that afternoon shade, protect them from the afternoon shade. But this is one of those, and I think most japonicums on the most hand, if you do find that spot where you can push it just a little bit further in that sun, but still giving it that afternoon shade, you're really going to get some really cool blushing on those green leaves. And I mean, just like I say, Giant Moon with those big leaves will really show that off if you can push it some. What we got, Corbin?
Guys, we got something for all you ghost lovers out there. We got Acer Palmatum Uncle Ghost.
Woo-wee, man, Talon Buckholt's introduction. But what I'm excited about this being released today on a 10 at 10, outside of Martha Ghost, I think this is the hardest ghost to get your hands on. When you want to talk about the rarity and availability of Ghost series and the original 9, I would have to say hardest to get, Martha, right next to that, Uncle Ghost.
Yeah, man, this is the cool uncle of the Ghost series. You know, it's not that weird uncle. This one's the cool one, man. He don't tell your parents, you know, he caught you sneaking back in at nighttime, bro. He's going to be coming out with some awesome spring pink colors, kind of a peachy pink, really unique color from a lot of those reticulated varieties. And then moving into some creams and greens that you kind of expect from that. But I love that kind of cream on green contrast with this really nice dark bark as well.
I'm glad you said something about that bark, because that's exactly what I was thinking about. You think about all the other Ghost series and what's in there, and Uncle Ghost, within, you know, you can include a couple of the other ones that are in there, but for the most part, man, you don't get that dark chocolatey bark on most of those other ones.
Yeah, definitely. I think that Uncle Ghost, it really does just have that kind of really dark bark that kind of sets it apart. I know Brian and I have talked about it on 10 at 10s before, but some of the, reds or purples really do have just a distinct bark that kind of puts them into their own category. And yeah, I mean, we've been dropping pretty much all the ghosts this past couple of 10 at 10s, man. I know that there's Martha up in there, and Uncle Ghost is a really cool one as well.
Get you one today. Whoever's editing this, if it's Corbin, if it's Joe, drop the dramatic music. We've got a tree that's never been released before, coming for the very first time to the trade. Cedrus atlantica Blue Haze.
Yeah, this is a tree that Talon was sitting on in the blue forest for a long time. I believe it was a witch's broom that got separated out and evaluated for a long time. And whenever MrMaple acquired it, we said, hey, Talon, we know you were tired of introducing stuff, man. You introduced so much stuff. We're going to put this one in the trade. We think it's that good. And it is a nice, tight, dense Cedrus atlanticus. Such a beautiful tree. I love the original one of these. Really has a distinct kind of level habit that it has, where it kind of gives you some really nice levels of tight, dense blue color going on.
You know, the story, I love the story behind it, because from, you know, the way it's been told is that when Talon found this witch's broom, he specifically planted it, put it in with the intentions of releasing it. He knew there was something special with it, but with all over the years and with him eventually selling the nursery, he just never really got around to doing it. But man, first time ever coming to MrMaple, first time hitting it, Blue Haze. And you talk about that habit. What I like about this, man, is you get that kind of it growing up, you know, we've got them staked, but man, it's pendulous, man. So you could stake this up, get some height, and it gives you that moves. But man, you've seen the original, I've seen the original. Man, the blue hues that this gets, the name is so appropriate, Blue Haze, that the blue hues you get off of this is for real and is to die for. Contrast it with all your Japanese maples, just a killer witch's broom coming for the first time.
Yeah, I know. I would definitely put this next to some yellow conifers in the gardens, maybe some gold drift, maybe a Van Huey going in next to this thing. Just really kind of accentuate those really kind of baby blue colors that it gets. This is going to be one that goes quick for y'all. So make sure to check out with it, because a lot of people have been hyping this one up. I know Matt's talking about it. Collectors from all around the world commenting on pictures about this. So you really don't want to miss out. This might be, the time it's released for a little bit, you know, I mean, at least until we get that next shipment of conifers from Buckholtz, guys, so don't miss out. Guys, I'm getting hungry. Let's bring a nice Acer Oliveranum hot chicken to satisfy you guys. An awesome Cecilifolium type Oliveranum.
Man, what I really like about this is during the spring when it leaves out and just the colors you get when it leaves out. But then you kind of start to go into that time between spring going into that summer, and the way those leaves just kind of droop down and lay over each other, they look like feathers. Man, this is one of those trees, heat seekers. You guys, you know, we've talked up the heat seekers and I've talked about just the, you know, how awesome Oliveranums are because you can put them in the sun, you can put them in that heat, and they're going to thrive. And this one's going to do that as well. Hot chicken, man. Now you're making me hungry, man. Just talk about bringing that chicken out, but we got to bring it hot for the new year.
Yeah, I mean, this is one I think a lot of people are interested in. It definitely interests me. I love the Cecilifolium types. Now, if you get this, you start seeing that first leaf out, and you're not seeing as many Cecilifolium leaves as you want to. Don't worry. That's something that kind of comes with maturing. As this one kind of matures, it'll start putting on really kind of that distinct growth that we see it for. I love this one. It kind of looks different than a lot of the other Cecilifoliums. Obviously, it's a different species of tree, but I feel like the leaves really, really kind of fold up on each other on this, and it's super cool. One of my favorite times is whenever it really starts to turn up the heat during that fall time. Getting just kind of a plethora of oranges, reds, and yellows I've seen on this thing. It is a feast of the eyes during fall time, that's for sure.
Well, what I'm amazed about is that we recently did the top 75 Japanese maples at MrMaple, chosen by you guys, the customers. And this is one that I didn't realize, but had only been released this past year from MrMaple on the 10 at 10s and getting out there. So it didn't have the same evaluation next to that we talked to customers in Texas with the hot blondes. But now that it's been getting out there more, it's made that top 75. We have those customers that are coming back to us saying, you know what, I've got a hot chicken right next to my hot blonde, and it is performing just like the hot blonde, soaking in that sun, taking in that heat, and just putting off growth.
Yeah, I definitely think having that kind of full splay of the heat seekers is kind of a must, especially if you're in a hotter location. I think that it really provides people the opportunity of growing maples without having such a big headache when you're trying to be a zone pusher. And Oliveranums are a great way to provide that and share that Japanese maple love with the rest of the world.
Okay, guys, we've got apparently Corbin's favorite, or one he's really liking right now, Acer Palmeum Taroyama.
Yeah, guys, I really do enjoy this one. It really has a distinct leaf. I remember seeing this, kind of seeing some of the progeny that come off of this one as well. But a really nice, tight, dense habit. A really distinct looking leaf shape as well. And some beautiful blushing and different colored eyes that go on this one. Taroyama is one I love seeing a large specimen of, honestly. It's pretty impressive with that kind of tight, dense habit that it's got going on. I love whenever that summer color picks up. You get a really nice olive green, or kind of a really dark green going on. Something akin to Shishigashira, but then that kind of the red inlay of the eye really starts to pick up. Super, super duper beautiful.
I like how you do that. Even look at this outer leaf, you look at that bark structure, and it almost screams Makawa Yatsubusa, the way it grows. So when you're talking about that tight layer shingling habit, think of it like that Makawa Yatsubusa. But like you say, when you start talking about those leaves, you're talking about more in that kind of stepping out of that Makawa leaf style, kind of getting a little bit more shishi on it, but not crinkly. But the leaf style is what separates this. You get the habit of Makawa, kind of the shapes of a shishi, but its own distinct leaf habit.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like that ruffling that you might see in like Kurenai Jishi, but maybe not as crazy. It's kind of in a league of its own, which I enjoy. I think that this one kind of has a lot of characteristics of a lot of other trees, but it really is just distinct. And yeah, seeing this thing during the fall time, whenever it's just kind of lit up red, that tight, dense habit, allowing a lot of shadow and a lot of depth to emerge from this, super awesome. I know this is one that a lot of people have asked me about during the open house, and I'm always happy to show them. We got a pretty nice set of them today, guys, so don't miss out. Right here, guys, we got a beautiful reticulated variety, Ruby de Sofia.
Man, this is really cool because, I mean, I think for this, the habit kind of speaks for it. Man, this is one that's going to get some hooking in the habit, kind of contorted and weird shapes, and it's a variegated. And then you talk about the falls, that it goes into a really cool red in the fall. Man, Ruby de Sofia. And this is one that I see that the more that it's been getting out there, the more and more people are really picking up on this and that it's getting out in landscapes.
Yeah, I know whenever I first started, this was one that I had my eyes on. Just with that beautiful reticulation going on, kind of a nice green leaf, layered with some pink over top. I've seen it in different conditions show a lot of different colors, but that's kind of what it's known for. The beautiful reticulation on this really does allow it to kind of look differently through each stage of the year. But yeah, I think what makes this one easy to distinguish is whenever you see a little bit older specimen, you really do start to see that hooking habit that it gets going on. Really nice forms of these trees. I think no one of these is going to look the same, especially with the reticulated varieties. I'll tell you, if you play with those conditions of it a lot, you can really pull out certain colors. So I like to say maybe throw this one in a pot, plant it around, move it around the garden a little bit till you find, it might take a couple of years, but that's what we like about gardening, man. It's a slow, methodical process of watching things, kind of develop. And this is one that's going to be awesome because whenever it starts to get some size to it, you're going to start to see all those colors on the same tree, which I think is well worth it. Finding that perfect spot for that to really let it flourish and then kind of develop its own kind of feel in the garden is something that's really important.
Ruby de Sofia. Guys, we're coming to you with Acer palmatum Ramona. Man, this is just a really, really cool tree. And what I like about Ramona is, man, I like trees that give us more than just a single season performance. I love the Japanese maples and all the plants that kind of take us through the season and change. And this is one of them with its spring. And then you go into the summers. You're constantly getting changed through the season. It takes you on a roller coaster ride. Man, what can you ask for a tree in your landscape?
Yeah, this is one of the most distinct trees during the summertime, really, for sure. I love walking past a large set of these in the greenhouse, which, if you're trying to mimic the greenhouse, it's about, we use 50% shade, 55% shade. And, that's a good way to kind of gauge about how much sun you're going to want if you're trying to get it in a greenhouse. Sometimes trees need a little bit of sun to pick that color up, but Ramona really does nice in that a little bit of shadier location, really picking up a lot of those pale, like white green colors we see, almost like a minty green. But that spring and that summer flush are such nice additions to that color that it provides. The summer flushes with that kind of really nice pale pink, just kind of layering over top of that beautiful white green color, just really gives a really dynamic look in the garden. I also love the texture of this leaf. Really nice, kind of lots of sublobes happening on the sides of each lobe, really kind of making it sharp and a nice distinctive looking leaf. Ramona is one that's really kind of grown on me. I know whenever we were coming up with trees for that summer podcast we were doing, this one came right to my head. I was like, yo man, Tim, why is this not on there yet? He threw it on there, and yeah, it's going to be one that I think a lot of people are going to start to catch on to as time goes on, because sometimes it's easy to get lost in that beauty of springtime, but you want something that has a little bit more staying power, give you in that consistent color and that changing color throughout the season.
And I think you nailed it right there. You hit it on there. During those summer months, how many Japanese maples that are either red that start to go green during the summer. And, we talk about during the summer, sometimes Japanese maples aren't at their, best viewing point because they start to go through all that summer heat. They start to go through that stress. Well, this is one of those that gives you a true summer interest, especially, that darker green leaves, that older growth actually starts to go to, like you talked about, you said white, but starts to lighten up and get those yellows into it. Then you get that flush on top of it. You're getting, a true change during those summer months. And this is one of those summer Japanese maples you need in your garden.
Bringing some heat today, guys. We didn't want to leave some of those collectors hanging. We want to bring an awesome 10 at 10. And this is one that, you know, it lives in kind of some infamy here in MrMaple. We got Acer Sheer Solemnum Magic Moon, guys.
So, like, this is such a unique maple, Acer Sheer Solemnum. Man, you get all the Acer Sheer Solemnum, like, habits and all that type of stuff, but man, the leaf on this is so unique. Is it variegated? Is it, I mean, what is it? Man, there's times when it kind of crinkles and almost looks like, you know, like a fist. And then there's times where it flattens out, and then you see some of that white in the leaves, and then you can start getting, I mean, like the colors that you can get out of this tree, it's such, I mean, it really is magic to see this tree. I mean, there's nothing else like it. Maybe purple curl's the closest thing I can think of that comes anywhere near it. But man, it's so unique.
Yeah, in my head, I think Purple Curl, Magic Moon, and then Bloody Talons all kind of sit in a similar realm. And I mean, if that's who you're being compared to right there, that's pretty good, honestly. I think Magic Moon really does just kind of have this beautiful curl. It's a funky tree. You know, a lot of people say that it is a collector tree. I'll agree, man. I think this is one that every collector should have. And I think it being brought back today is awesome. You know, I think we're kicking some butt with these 10 at 10s for the past couple of weeks. Really being able to offer you some of the rare stuff that there is in the whole entire maple game. And that's what we're about here at MrMaple. And yeah, Magic Moon, I think it is a Higaseyama style variegation. I'll say, I think you really do start to see that whenever it gets some malting going on it. That curl is just beautiful as well. And I've heard this one, man. Many people have come far and wide for Magic Moon. And I can understand why.
And, you know, I'm excited that, you know, when I first started at MrMaple 6 years ago, it was one of those where you heard a lot of people, where's Magic Moon? Where's Magic Moon? And it seems like we have it available a whole lot more. For all of you all, man, great tree. Don't miss out on it. Hey guys, we're coming to you with Acer Palmatum English Lace. Now, Corbin, I'm going to ask you, is this the red Siriu?
I think you probably get as close as there is one out there today to red Siriu. This is probably, I was going to say this is probably my favorite lace leaf, but I think I'm going to say this is one of my favorite lace leaves because as soon as I was about to say that, I thought of a bunch of other ones that kind of, you know, are like, what the heck, man? But English Lace has got to be one of the most unique maples in the game. Like you were saying, only kind of comparison you can get to something like this is that red Siriu. Now, it's not going to have as much of a upright habit as Siriu. It's not going to be as fast growing, but man, this is about the closest you're going to get to an upright red maple. So like upright red lace leaf maple.
There you go. And so this is one of those, you know, we recommend stake it up, help you get some of that vertical growth on it, and then it's going to kind of reach out. We saw a great one when we went on the Maple Society tour, and it really is, you know, with it being a larger specimen that was staked up but has it weeping out, Matt and Tim were able to step underneath it and really had that upright, very upright, not as weeping as you think of red lace leaves.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these are going to put on similar growth in 1 gallons. And what I've seen is the first kind of little bit of growth is kind of like almost like a hooked approach. But then the rest of it kind of pushes up. This is a really kind of borders on the edge of semi-pendulous and the upright. And I love that. This is one of my favorite trees, like I was saying. That pink fall color that it gets, just kind of like a neon turned up pink, is so beautiful during the fall time. The one we saw out west was just super amazing. Really one of the most vibrant fall colors I've ever seen. And that's why I had to pick one up, man. I really just love that this is one of those unicorn maples. You know, try to find some other ones. There's some other ones that might compete, but I don't think any of them can hold a candle to English Lace. And this will look good in any garden for sure. Well, guys, that was the 10 of the 20 that we're showing today here on December 30th. It's almost that New Year's, guys. And if you want to bring in the New Year's right, man, or you're looking for some last minute gifts for Christmas, maybe you forgot about that one person in the office that you know, they get you something every year, but you kind of neglected them last year. Pick them up a Mr. Maple gift card, man. Give the gift of gardening to that person that you love. And yeah, thanks for watching, y'all.
Y'all have a happy New Year. Y'all take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.
See you next year.